Hello, everyone. Today we're going to start Unit 3. This is the first of 3 different packets for Chapter 3. And here we're studying triangles, and more importantly, congruent triangles. The beginning part of our unit is not really going to get too much into the congruent triangles. We're just going to talk about things about triangles. So the first thing we need to talk about is how to classify triangles. So I want you to actually pause. I know it's the very beginning of the video, and see if you can name these 7 triangles. The top 3 I want you to name by sides, and the bottom 4 I want you to name by angles. So pause and try to name them, and then come back. Okay, so our first triangle here is equilateral, and that's because all sides are equal. Second one is isosceles, because 2 sides are equal. Third one is scalene. None of the sides are equal. By angles, our first triangle here is equiangular, meaning all angles are congruent or equal. Second one is obtuse. For an obtuse triangle, it can have one obtuse angle, only one obtuse angle. Right triangle, again, one right angle. And an acute triangle has all angles acute. So now I want you to find the measures of the sides of triangle DEF and classify it by its sides. So first we're going to plot that. So that's -5, 9 is D. E is 2, 1. And F is 8, -3. And that makes this kind of triangle here. It's not great, but it is a triangle. And I want to classify it by its sides. And actually, let's change D. So I want to make D be -5, -9. That's just going to give us a more definitive triangle. So -5, -9. I think when I made the notes, that was the typo there. So we're going to change D to be that. So now to find the measure of the sides. How do I find the measure of a line on a grid when it's not vertical or horizontal? So how I find the measure of a line is I use the distance formula, which is D equals quantity x2 minus x1 squared. It's kind of ugly. Plus y2 minus y1 squared. So I need to do that for all 3 sides. So I need to do that for DE. So I do the square root of -5 minus 2 squared plus -9 minus 1 squared. And if you remember, your calculator will do that for you. So if I open up my calculator, I can do the square root of -9 minus 5 quantity squared plus, I forgot the values. So it's -5, -2. Okay. So it's actually -5 minus 2 squared plus -9 minus 1 quantity squared. And that tells me 12.206555562. So 12.206 blah, blah, blah. So now I'm going to find EF. So EF is the square root of 2 minus -8 squared plus 1 minus 3 squared. And then last I want you to find FE. So pause and find these 2 sides and classify the triangle. So I found the length of EF, which is 6.324555532. And I found the length of DF, not EF. We already did EF. That was a mistake. on my part, is 12.36931,688. And since none of those are the same, this is a scalene triangle. Now we're going to talk about the very important triangle angle sum theorem. This says the angles in a triangle add to 180 degrees, always. So if I have this triangle ABC, the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B plus the measure of angle C equals 180 degrees. So now, how do I use this? In example 1, if the degree measures of the angles of a triangle are represented by 2x, x plus 10, and 3x minus 10, find x. Well, those are the angles in a triangle. The sum of the angles in a triangle always add to be 180. So it's going to be 2x plus x plus 10 plus 3x minus 10 equals 180. I combine like terms, which gives me 6x equals 180. Divide by 6, and x equals 30. Now to find the degree measure of each angle, I know one angle was 2x, so that's 2 times 30, which is 60. Another angle was x plus 10, so that's 30 plus 10, which gives me 40. And the last was 3x minus 10, so that's 3 times 30 minus 10, which is 80. Classify the triangle by angles. Well, the angles are 60, 40, and 80. Therefore, they're all acute, so it's an acute triangle. Example 2. Here I need to find x, y, and z. So I'm going to start by finding x because x is part of this triangle GFJ that I'm making blue. So that means x plus 65 plus 39 has to equal 180. So that's x plus 104 equals 180. I subtract 104, and I get x equals 76. To find y, I know that x and y down here are adjacent and they make a linear pair. Therefore, x plus y equals 180. So that's 76 plus y equals 180, which means y equals 104. Now to find z, I'm going to use this green triangle, which is triangle GJH. And I'm going to say 21 plus 104 plus z equals 180. So that's 125 plus z equals 180. I subtract 125, and z equals 55. So now I want you to pause and try example 3 on your own. Come back and check the answers. Okay, so the first thing I did to find the measure of angle B is I looked at the large triangle. So I knew the measure of angle B plus A plus C equals 180. So measure of angle B plus 40 plus 30 equals 180. I solved that and found measure of angle B equals 110. The measure of angle ACD is important up here because it tells me CD bisects angle C. Therefore, bisects means cuts in half, so 30 divided by 2 is 15. To find the measure of angle ADC, which I named x, I'm looking at this turquoise triangle. So that's x plus 15 plus 40 equals 180. I solve that and I get x equals 125. And lastly, to find BDC, which I called y, x and y are adjacent and make a straight line. So x plus y equals 180. So 125 plus y equals 180. So y is 55. Our last example for the day is number 4. And that says in a triangle, the measure of angles A and B are in ratio 2 to 5. Remember, whenever anything is in ratio 2 to 5, that means measure of angle A is going to be 2x, and the measure of angle B is 5x. And then it tells me C is 72 more than A. So that means the measure of angle C equals 2x plus 72. And it's helpful if we draw the triangle. So that says ABC. So A is 2x, B is 5x, and C is 2x plus 72. Now I know it's a triangle, therefore all the angles add together to be 180. So that's 2x plus 5x plus 2x plus 72 equals 180. So that's 9x plus 72 equals 180. We subtract 72. 9x equals 108. We divide by 9, and x equals 12. Now that I know x equals 12, I need to find all my angles. So the measure of angle A is 2 times 12, which is 24. Measure of angle B is 5 times 12, which is 60. And the measure of angle C is 2 times 12 plus 72. So that's 96. And that's the end of our video. If you have any questions, please bring these to class tomorrow.